Um, I've heard her say she would never let a man move into her crib, agreeing with T. Yet you gave me a key within the first 3 weeks. You gave me a key to the crib and adamantly wanted me to move in. That was one of the arguments that we had. Like, she was like, "Is this not your home?" And I'm like, "Yo, like, I get what you're saying, but like, I'm not moving in right away. I told you I will move in slowly. But once I started seeing how she was moving and all that shit, I was like, yeah, I wasn't too, and that's why it was so easy for me just to give the key back. You feel me? Like, that was me already taking the steps and approaches that I needed to just get away. You feel me? I do like to give people the benefit of the doubt. I mean, just because you're going through something at that time and moment don't mean that's naturally who you are. But that is who she is. She's argumentative, she's controlling. And I get why she's controlling, because she had her, I mean, her control taken away from her, when her innocence taken away from her when she was young. I get it. And I can understand that because I've been there. I went through the same shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I was ordered by my chain of command to go to therapy when I was in the army, because I was always so angry, and I didn't know why I was so angry. So when I went to therapy, it all stirred from my freaking childhood. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not that man today. So for you to paint me out to be someone that I'm not, and you know the context of our arguments, you know that you have apologized numerous times for freaking taking stuff out on me that I didn't even do. Like, one time she got into it with her daughter, came and sat down on the couch, we chilling. She caught an attitude with me, and I looked at her in her face, and I said, "AP, I didn't do nothing to you. I did not do anything to you whatsoever. Like, don't take out what you're feeling on me." So it was just things like that, like the disrespect, the nigga. I told her from rip, like, "Yo, I don't like being called a nigga. Like, I don't like, if you my sister, my brother, or whatever, or associates, because I don't have friends. I have family and I have associates, right? If you my family or my associates, I don't care if you use the N-word. But my lady, nah, I'm not your nigga. You not my bitch. You feel me? So, like, I feel like there has to be a different level of respect when dealing with that. I know my flaws and I know my strengths. And we had
And
conversations about that. She's saying that we didn't. That's cap. Because anybody, bro, anybody have ever had dealings with, and a lot of them, a lot of my exes, I'm still cool with. Like, I could pick up the phone, they married and shit, and call them, bro. So that's how you know I'm not the type of man she's painting me out to be. You feel me? Like, I could literally pick up the phone right now, call any of my exes, and they would tell you, like, ask them, why did we end? They're not gonna be like, "Oh, he was abusive, he was controlling, woo, 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 woo." They're not gonna say that, because that's not who I am. But I match energy. Once I say something to you once or twice and you not making adjustments, I'm gonna just start acting the way you act to see how you respond to it. And if you don't like it, that's when I tell you, don't do what you don't like. How she was saying after the video, I mean, when I interrupted her live, that I came downstairs and I was just yelling at her. That's a lie. That's a lie, and I put that on my son. That is a lie. I was talking to her. She she was like, "But you said 8 o'clock." And what I kept saying to her every time she said that was, "Well, if you answered the phone, you would have known that I was telling you that I'm on the way right now before we leave." But prior to that, we had a conversation that day, right? Because she got upset that I didn't answer my phone when I was on the live. And I told AP, I said, "AP, since I've known you, right? You talk about communication, we don't communicate and shit. Since I've known you from the beginning, when I will call you, you will not answer. And then later I will find out that you was on the live. Like, you want me to leave a live to talk to you, but you won't leave a live to talk to me. So we came up with an agreement, a compromise that day, right? We came up with a compromise that day that um one will do better. Two, freaking if you call and then text, because I'm like you could literally just answer the phone real quick, you know what I'm saying? Or text back or something, you know what I'm saying? Um if you call or text, I will let you know that I'm live. Now, she's saying what she said earlier was, I knew she wasn't alive. No, I did not know. I called 3 times first because I was driving. Majority of the time, I'm driving. Yes, I do lift on the side, people, for because she trying to make it seem like it's such a bad thing to do lift. Like I have multiple streams of income, and lift is one of them. Like I'm about my bag. I'm about my hustle. Like don't get it misconstrued. And I get paid for the rest of my life from the military. Like I literally don't have to work or do nothing if I choose to. I can literally sit at the crib and not do shit and be comfortable. But I grind. I get my fucking money. So um I do lift. You know what I'm saying? There's some things that I need to revamp with one of my companies. So instead of taking out a loan, I get out there and I get the money. Like I'd rather have assets versus liabilities. So like bringing all that stuff up just to try to diminish my character when at no time and point did I try to diminish hers. Like everything I spoke about on when we first got on the live was things that was said in her live and other lives that she was in. Her people were saying stuff, so I was addressing everything that was said, right? I didn't come up here to diminish her. Like you can't open the door, choose what you want to say, leave it open, and then freaking say I can't walk through with luggage and furniture because it didn't have to get to where it was going. It didn't. The lame ass nigga when I come into my sister's live and my sister she called it. She was like, "Who are you calling a lame ass nigga?" Because she seen me come in and that's what she said. So she's saying I was saying subliminals. I didn't do not one subliminal, Slim. People was making comments and I was agreeing with them. Only reason it became an issue for her of me agreeing with them is because she know that me agreeing with them that I'm actually agreeing to something that's factual because I'm living this shit right now. I'm living this shit right now. Like I literally experienced you off the app. Like you are the same toxic person that you are on the app that you are on off the app. But it's not like I ever frequented her lives. Like I didn't. I've been in her live. I'll say at the most 3 times. But I know for a fact I've been in there twice. When Petty Row was up there and she was having another topic, and I came up there for a little bit. I didn't go into the panel. I was just in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know AP was live until I went on TikTok, and that was after I made the phone calls and sent the text messages like "Hello." That's when I seen that she was reading her watch. But by that time, I was already outside. I was outside already. She opened the garage for me. I came in through the garage. I came upstairs, so she knew I was there. You know what I'm saying? But the whole point of me coming up there to get her off TikTok was to get her in a different headspace. Let's go sweat and then we'll go chill afterwards. Something that she had been asking me to do, but every time it came time for us to hang out, after a while, like I just like I said, I have my severe migraines, freaking I had to go get an emergency colonoscopy. You know what I'm saying? So it was like something always came up, and she had a problem with that as well. She was like, "Hey, it's always an issue," but you can tell it was a problem, freaking, because she even made it a problem inside. She made it a problem. What the hell is that?
Now you know it's the computer. I gotta wake that bitch up.
Oh, okay.
Now I was
Um,
gonna. I wanted to ask you a real quick question because it was
yeah.
something you discussed to me. It was something you said to me early on the phone, right?
What's up?
Concerning how you went about getting her off alive and why you went about doing it in the manner in which you did it. I just want you to disclose it to the people in the exact same way you told me.
All right,
That way,
so the dynamic of the type of man that me and AP spoke about that she needed was one that was going to reel her in. You know what I'm saying? She's aware that she's aware herself. Now, this is a conversation that we have had, and I know she's not gonna admit it, but she's aware that she do too much on TikTok at times. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, I need a man that's is going to reel me in. Like, if I'm on there for too long, like get me off of it. So what I told Slim was I was like, I kind of fucked myself in that sense because I agreed to that. You know what I'm saying? And I should have just let her hold her own self accountable for what she does on TikTok and not try to assist her in that because look at the situation I'm in now. You know what I'm saying? But again, I take responsibility for how I did it. Um, did I care?
which is
No. Do I
when
care? No. Good.
when you saying you take responsibility for how you did it, you saying you possibly could have did it in a better manner, right?
Yes, most definitely. Like if I would have just
Okay.
came up there and asked her to mute her mic or whatever and be like, yo, like you weren't here for too long, whoop, 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 whoop. But I did come in there aggressive, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, all right, this is foolish. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't had this conversation about this and this is not this isn't necessary. So I could have handled it differently. You understand what I'm saying?
Thanks.
And I'll take accountability for that. Most definitely.
Yeah, nah, go off, go off. I remember the shit that you shared with me. You know what I'm saying? I just want to paint the picture the exact same way you shared it to me.
Yeah.
Not trying to throw you under the bus and nothing like that. I just
Nah,
know
you
like
good, you good, you good.
yeah.
You
So
good.
go ahead,
But
go off. I'm not
like
gonna interrupt you no more.
at the end of the day, like had I known that she had dealt with two other individuals on this platform, I wouldn't have even like pursued her whatsoever. I did hear about Brandon, but or Brian, whatever his fucking name is. I heard about him and I ask her questions about him. So for her to say that like we didn't talk about who we had dealings with on TikTok, that's a lot too. Because we most definitely had that conversation. Most definitely had that conversation. You know what I'm saying? She told me she never met him in person, that he hasn't been to North Carolina or whatever the case is. But had I known like she had dealings with other people, freaking I would have never even like spoke to her in that light, and that's on GP, like real shit. Um, I'm not gonna sit here and say that her pum pum trash. I'm not gonna say that, even though she tried to downplay a dude. But I mean, we both know what it is. Like, if I was so trash and you had another dude down the block, like, why didn't you just deal with him? Like, because even after I gave you the key back the first time, well, when I gave you back the key the only time because I didn't like you didn't give it back to me and I didn't ask for it back. Um, you were still adamant about having something with me, and even though I had told you like I'm stepping back, you know what I'm saying? But I already foreseen that coming. Like a lot of women do that. You feel me? Like the moment that they upset, they want to downplay you and this, that, and the third. But I ain't gonna lie, my manhood. You feel me? We both know what it was at the end of the day. So like you doing all that other extra shit was crazy, and you never really addressed like what the problem was. Like I addressed everything that you said. I was not an abuser to you. The times that we did get into an argument, freaking, it was because how you talk to a man. And but I told her this to her face, bro. I said, um, and she broke down crying on the phone when I spoke to her. I said, I understand why you come at men the way you do and why you don't have the respect for men you do.
Don't drop
Um,
it again though. I know where you're going. I think the chat know
no,
where you're
I'm not
going.
gonna say it. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
say
yeah.
it, but
I
I'm just
appreciate
saying
it, bro.
free freaking like I understand that because of your past, you feel me? And like she was like, I didn't even know like she was like, I didn't speak to you about now about none of this. But yet again, like I told y'all, I pay attention to shit. You know what I'm saying? I pay attention to shit. So she didn't have to tell me what she went through with her family. I observed how, you know what I'm saying? I observed how she is with her family and freaking some of the like discussions that she had in front of me while I was there. So I put one and one together, but like she confirmed it all when I was speaking with her. You know what I'm saying? Like we had some real like I would say like within because I don't actually know how many weeks it was, but I know it wasn't 2 months. It was less than 2 months. Um, Within that short period of time, like we went through some ups and downs like real fast and real quick. And I'm seeing like a lot of the red flags, and I'm like, oh shit, like, all right, nah, I gotta pull back. Like, we gotta come up with a different game plan type shit. At the end of the day, I wish her the best. I don't, I'm not taking back nothing I said because I said it and I meant it at that time and point, and I'm gonna stand on it. Um, I just thought that it was going to be left alone after T's live, but then she went in her own live and started freaking dragging the shit out of me to a point where people was following me saying weird shit, bro. And like I said, not to be the dead horse, you know how I feel about my kids, bro. Like I even got into it with, you know who I got into it with. I'm not gonna say that person's name, but like. I don't play about my kids, point blank, period. So that's the only reason I came up and I was like, all right, we gonna put shit out. Let's put it all on the table. Cause like nothing I said or anything that I did, like minus walking in on a live, like I feel like I did wrong. You know what I'm saying? I didn't come for your character. I didn't come for who you were. Freaking, this is all the stuff that I heard that she said in her live from people who follow her, right? It's people that was DMing me who follow her, bro, telling me what was said. My phone was getting blown up, and I thought it was over with after we left T's live. You know what I'm saying? So, like, just to bring up my personal shit that ain't got nothing to do with nothing, like, which I'm not embarrassed of. Like, everything that she mentioned, yeah, it's true as far as my health. You know what I'm saying? Speaking on why my marriages failed, like it's simple. I was gone for too fucking long, and my wives didn't want to wait to fucking get no dick. Like it's simple. Oh, let me address my daughter's situation, which I have before on this on this platform. Actually, your people's platform, Slim. Um, my daughter, Molly. Last time I seen her, she was 5 months old. Right. When I first got out the military, I was still dealing with PTSD from losing my son. So I suffered from anxiety and I suffered from depression. That's why when I get into arguments with women, I'll shut down and just walk the fuck away. Um, Freaking when I was dealing with my second daughter's mother, she became real manipulative. Like she would accuse me of things that I wasn't doing. Like I worked from home at that time and point. And I was going to school full time in the gym. Like I was just work, school, gym. That was my schedule. Work, school, gym, home. Work, school, gym, home. Um, well, I work, then go to class, school, class, and then the gym, and then home. And she will accuse me of cheating. I've never cheated in my life. I don't believe in it. I've been cheated on twice by my wife, so I know how I would feel. I'd rather just leave you and go deal with someone else. Um, Things weren't going well with me and her mother, so I chose to walk away from her mother. Her mother told me straight up, if we're not going to be a family, I would never see my daughter. Not only did I pay money to find where she is, right? I've also Thibodeau has helped me try to find her. She gave me addresses of where it was registered that she was at. And the last address that I did check, I missed her by 1 day. I just need an address to serve her so I could be in my child's life. Now, if you think this is bullshit, my brothers, my mother, and can't tell you how many nights I cried because I never wanted to be the father that my father was. A piece of shit in not inside his child's life. It's been many nights that I cried because I can't see my second daughter grow up. It's hard to find her because she don't put nothing in her name. She's with um she's with the so she got a set of twins that's older than my daughter. She got a set of twins that's 9 months younger, literally 9 months to the day younger than my daughter. So she's with their father. Me and him, we had a conversation one time at point. He was supposed to give me the information so I can come see my daughter. For whatever reason, he flaked out. I honestly believe he just wanted to know more about whether I was still piping my baby moms versus actually helping me be in my daughter's life. Because the majority of his questions was like, well, do you still love her? This and the third. And I'm like, bro, that's your lady. I don't have nothing. I just want to be in my child's life. If you're going to assist me with that, I appreciate it. The number that I have for him, he changed. So that clarifies that. Like, I'm in my other two kids' lives. Right. And when I say my other two kids' lives, I actually have three biological kids. One, my first son that deceased, my daughter,
Mm.
that's 8, and then my daughter that's 6, Molly.
All right, so
Um,
I just want to add in why you going through this right now, because I know some people like, hey, this is a lot of personal business, but there was an
nah, because she
accusation
brought it up.
that,
She brought
yeah,
it up.
nah, I know where you was going, because at first I was trying to keep up, but I understand where you're going right now. There was an accusation that was said earlier in other lives, and he's bringing up events, letting you know, like she called him a weekend father and said he's not even involved in his children's life the way that he makes it seem. So he's giving you context as into how actively he's involved with the children that he's involved with, and those that he can't be involved with. He's giving you context as to why.
So, do I want to be in my daughter's life? Most definitely. Like it got to a point where even my attorney was like, "Yo, look, we're not hiring no more private investigators. You spent too much money." Woo, woo, woo. Me and her actually gained a bond. Like me and my attorney, I met her family. She met my other two kids. So I actually have three kids biological. I have my son DJ who passed, and my daughter. I'm not gonna say her name on here. Um, freaking, they're by the same woman, and then my daughter Amali, she's by my second child's mother. I have another son. He's not my biological son. He's actually my godson, but I'm the father figure in his life. He calls me daddy. He knows who his father is, but he calls me daddy. So that should just tell you something about me as a father. Like I take care of my kids, and my godson considers me his biological father. Like whenever it comes down to something that he need or he's not feeling well, he calls for me. You feel me? So, um, like for you to even say that I'm a weekend dad, that's bullshit. Because I actually spend time with my kids even when they're not when school is out and they're not going there. Like the teacher, what is that joint called where the teachers have their work day or whatever it's called? Um, teachers work day where the kids don't go to school, but the teachers just go to catch up on work or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
On the holidays, I'm with my kids. I'm actually not on the road driving my trucks right now because one, I'm revamping my company, but also because my children asked me to come home for a while. Because I was driving and I was like away from them, like, and they're not used to that. They're used to seeing me throughout the week. They're used to seeing me on the weekends as well. I'm not a weekend father. I'm an active father. Like my kids live 45 minutes away from me. That drive is nothing when it comes to my kids can live freaking more than that and I'll drive. If my kids call me, I drop what I'm doing and I go to them. I could be making money or whatever the case is. My kids call me, daddy, come pick me up. I'm on the way. So for her to make those accusations and try to freaking like assassinate who I am and how I stand on business is crazy to me because I did not do that to her whatsoever. Whatsoever. I didn't say she was a bad mom. I didn't say any of that. I just put everything into context that she was leaving out. I didn't come on this app to dog her, but freaking if you're gonna talk about shit, talk about it all. Like I can talk about the shit that I've done, but I'm also gonna talk about the shit that you did, so people can use their own discernment and freaking decide which one where the truth is. But I'm not just gonna say one side and leave shit open to try to make you look like something that you're not, and that's exactly what she did. That's exactly what she did. No matter how much I didn't want to fuck with her or no more or not, it could have been mutual, whatever the case is. She said it's mutual, cool, whatever the case is. Like I was good on it, but I wasn't shooting subliminals. I was agreeing with people inside the comment section. I'm like, clock it, I whatever. You know what I'm saying? But only reason you have a problem with me saying is because of the fact that we had dealings. That's the only reason why you have an issue with it. Like you didn't take it out on no one else that's made the same comments that I made. Like you picking and choosing who you want to fight with. You know what I'm saying? And I want to say this too before I get off. A lot of the times, because it's a man on the other side, we just go gun ho towards the man. But you got to realize this too. I didn't know she had even had dealings with two other dudes on this app, right? But you got three guys who none are the same. But there's only one constant. It didn't work with Artie or whatever. It didn't work with whatever the nigga name with the B, and it didn't work with me. At some time and point, we gotta open up our eyes and be like, all right, is it really the men that's the problem, or is it the woman that's a problem? Even if it's vice versa, right? Say it was one dude and three women. Who's actually the problem? But the way y'all dragged me inside this shit just because she only told one context of the spectrum, one side of the spectrum, and let y'all just run with it and just draw conclusions, and I was going to leave it alone. But it's just at some time and point, like you got to stand up for yourself. One and two, whenever my kids is mentioned by anybody supporter, I'm not just coming for the person that mentioned it. I'm coming for the person they support as well because you put that in their head. You painted me out to be a stalker. Talk about I was following you around the app, but when I only like when I first come on live, the first live I look for is T's live. And if T is live, I don't go nowhere else. That was debunked. You said I was an abuser, and then not like you were just gonna leave it just at that. Then you said, well, I know he will put his hand on a woman because of the fact that he told me he hit his child's mother. But you're not gonna tell the whole context of it. She said me and my daughter mother was having a fight, a physical altercation. That was not the case. We was having a disagreement. She got upset. She went to hit me. She struck my daughter, and I slapped her ass. Let me make one thing clear. I don't care who you are. Man, woman, dog, cat, teenager, old citizen. If you put your hands on my kid, I'm going to put my hands on you. My kids don't need to be popped because they're well mannered. I can talk to my children. Just having conversations with my kids, freaking everybody who meet my kids, like your kids is so well mannered. They're so respectable. They yes ma'am, yes sir, no sir. Like I don't whip my children. I have conversations with my kids. So being that I don't put my hands on my kids and that I can get through to them by talking, their mothers don't put their hands on them.
I
If you
got you,
have a
big bro.
problem and they're not listening, just call me. Now, let's to clear something else up too. My daughter mother who I slapped, our relationship is amazing. My son's mother, our relationship is amazing. We actually do shit. We do family activities.
So you basically saying like it was it wasn't something that you would have went for normally, but under the circumstances, that's the reason why she even had that story to be able to tell.
Yes. So she asked me, she was like, "Have you ever put your hands on a woman before?" And I was like, "Not in no like rah-rah shit." Like I told her the situation about my daughter, and you see how she's amazing. We actually do shit. We do family activities.
So you basically saying like it wasn't something that you would have went for normally, but under the circumstances, that's the reason why she even had that story to be able to tell.
Yes. So she asked me, she was like, "Have you ever put your hands on a woman before?" And I was like, "Not in no like rah-rah shit." Like I told her the situation about my daughter, and you see how she took it out of context. Oh, I know he abusive because he told me he slapped a woman for it. Yo, put the whole thing out there. Don't put pieces out just to make yourself look good or to push your narrative or whatever paint picture you trying to paint. You feel me? Like keep it a band because
Yeah.
I'm a stand on everything that I ever said. Like I have no reason to lie and I'm gonna stand on it because I honestly don't care what people think about me. You feel me? But for you to paint a picture like I'm some perpetrator or predator, and then your people who follow you is following me, calling me a predator to my own child, gloves come off. But I never disrespected her child ever. Didn't say nothing crazy about her kids. She said, "Fuck my kids, fuck my son that died, and fuck that my daughter almost died twice." Like that's crazy. That's
Mm.
crazy. My daughter did get sick at her house. She did. AP called me. She sent me a picture. Because I was out doing lift. She sent me a picture, and I asked her. I said, "Do you want me to come and take care of it?" She was like, "No, I'll take care of it." But now all of a sudden it's a problem. Like everything that you're throwing up, it was just to freaking attack me. Yet had you not gone back to your live and talked shit with your AKAs, then none of this would have been about. Like if you would have just left it clean when we agreed on T's live, it would even have gotten to this point. But you go on T, you go on your own live and you paint this picture and you crying and you doing all this fucking theatrical shit just to make yourself look like a victim. Like you've done it with two other men. From what I understand, it's becoming a cycle. You're argumentative, you're freaking, you be trying to control other people's lives. But this is shit that I don't do. I be chilling. Any other time y'all see me, I be chilling, laughing, cracking jokes, or whatever the case is, or standing up for black women. I know it's a lot of black women that had an issue with me calling her a female dog, but I mean, hey, it is. You can't tell me how to respond to disrespect. Point blank, period. I don't tell y'all how to respond to the shit that y'all respond to the way y'all do. So you
Mm.
can't come up here and then be judgmental like, oh, you doing too much. No, man, that's why I told people to suck a dick, suck my dick, like for real.
Mm.
Because I don't, even you said it yourself, Slim. You've only seen me freaking bring out a different side of me probably once or twice, right?
Right.
So today y'all was like,
Now I
oh
never
shit,
seen
you
you.
know.
I'll be honest with you. I never seen you go off on a woman ever. I seen me
But
and you get
but
into it.
but
I
but you
seen
see
me
me
and
go
you
off
get.
on men though.
Yeah, hell yeah. I only
You
see
know what I'm
me.
saying?
I seen
So
you get
like,
into a man, but I ain't never seen you get into a woman
and I
ever.
always got into it with men defending who? A woman, right?
Women. Yeah. Oh, well, me and you,
Exactly.
we had our little situation, but that was a
Yeah.
little bit deeper. But for the most part, I ain't never seen you unhinged unless it was me and you. Cause I think like when we got into it, I'm like, damn, I ain't know we had a problem. And then I kind of you blocked me, I blocked you, and we ended up bumping into each other in the streets in a different platform, and that was that.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
But
like,
I've never seen you get out of hand with no woman, and even since we've been cool again, like locked in, you know what I'm saying? I've never seen you get out of control, out of hand with no woman. I've always seen you be respectful of women. So
and
I don't
also
know
let
what.
me ask you this real quick, bro. You just got in an argument with your lady, right? right? Or
Mm-hmm.
someone you dealing with, you talking to, whatever the case is.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, so what do you want to do moving forward? What does that mean to you?
Shit, we trying to come to a solution.
Or we're gonna end, like, so if I say let's come to a solution, you gonna rock with it. If I say fuck this, you're just like fuck it too, right?
Yeah.
That's literally what she said to me before I told her. Like the last thing I said to her before I walked out her house, I said, listen, she said, so what are we gonna do moving forward? I said, if you still want me to train you, I'll do that because I'm gonna stand on being the man of my word. But I can't fuck with you like that no more. Like personally, I can't fuck with you no more. That became a
Right.
problem. You know what I'm saying? She could say she kicked me out. I'll let her have it. But like I said earlier, she may have made up in her mind at that time and point that she was done as well. But I knew that I took time. I took like 2 days to myself. I didn't really speak to her, and I just thought about like what should I do moving forward. And I came to the conclusion that I was not going to do anything moving forward, and I was actually coming to the house to we was going to work out, but I was going to be like, look, like this ain't gonna work because the things that we agreed upon even prior to me coming to the house in her life,
Mm-hmm.
she wasn't standing on business. You feel me? And a lot of like I was like, I don't want to remain connected to someone that's so toxic because when it do come out that when we do get into a certified relationship, a certified relationship, I'ma be associated with how she acts. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I was like, nah, I can't. I can't do that because, as everyone knows, I'm not the argumentative type on TikTok. I have never started drama, and even the situation me and Slim had, we took
And we took it
offline.
off the app. It was like
We
one
took it
time you
offline.
said something, and then I was like, "Damn, bro, I ain't know we had an issue." You was like, "Nah, we ain't even gotta talk about it right now. We can talk about it out there." And we took it out there, and we had a conversation, and everything came. We got understanding. You know what I'm saying? And we've been locked in ever since. But
So whatever other questions you have for me, bro, I'm gonna let you ask them. I'm gonna answer them, and
I
then
don't really
I
have
gotta
many
jump
more.
off because my daughter she been FaceTiming me, and I really want to give her a call
I
back.
got you. I don't really have any more questions. You know what I'm saying? You pretty much went all the way in. You know what I'm saying? And you let everything happen the way it's supposed to happen. I don't have much more. I'm gonna let AP come up and tell her side of the story, and then like us as people, we can hear both of y'all without being interrupted. The same
Yeah.
rules that apply to you will apply to her. You wasn't disrespectful. You wasn't condescending. You wasn't derogatory towards her. So I don't mind if she gets her chance to be able to come up and speak and say what she need to say. Um, like long as she can stay in those guidelines of just not being condescending, derogatory, or disrespectful towards you. Like that way people can understand from both sides because in a relationship there's always two motherfucking there's always two sides to a story, right? And
Hmm.
the way you interpreted things don't mean that you were wrong, and the way that she interpreted things don't mean that she was wrong because we both filtering it through our emotions. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
our emotions will add something to it or take something away from it at the exact same time, depending on the experience. But I just want it to be done to where you not getting called crazy and getting cussed out and called out, and she not getting called and cussed out. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have many more questions for you. If you can, like by the end of this, if you can just like stay around, answer your call. Once she finished, I'll try and see if y'all can have a amicable conversation
Nah, 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 nah,
afterwards.
nah, 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 nah,
All
nah.
right, all right,
I'm
all right.
not. I'm
Well,
not gonna hold you, bro. Like after this, after like as soon as I drop down, bro, I'm over it. I'm done. Like I'm moving on with my life. I wish her the best in everything that she do. I will say this before I go. I apologize for the way I came on your live. That's something I will apologize for because I could have handled that differently. And this is straight to you, AP. Whether you want to accept it or not, I'm man enough to say at the time and point I didn't care. At the time that it took place, I didn't care how it looked. I didn't care how you felt about it. Um, like I'm gonna just keep it a band. But after seeing it from a different light, I understand that. I mean, I could have went about it a different way. Um, Everything else that transpired, it is what it is. But that's one thing that I will apologize for and take accountability for is that part. Um, and that's it, bro. That's it. So like, I appreciate you having me up. I'm not gonna stick around because I don't want to like, because when she get heated, like when things start moving, like I don't want to be called no bitch ass niggas and nothing like that. I
Yeah,
don't want to hear it.
I'm not
So
gonna
yeah,
condone it. You know, I'm not gonna condone
um,
that shit either though.
freaking, but I appreciate you, Slim. Everyone else that fucks with me, I'll see y'all in October, cause well, that's it. Fucking TikTok is still up, but y'all be blessed. I'm about to go live my life, and one thing I want to say is if people saying shit about you, you know what I'm saying, it doesn't involve your kids. Like you can say whatever you want about me, but don't bring the children into it, especially when they ain't got shit to do about it. But normally, 9 times out of 10, I don't let shit bother me because if you ain't fucking me, financing me, or feeding me, I don't give a fuck about what you got to say. I got my family, I got my associates, freaking, and I'm good. So y'all be blessed. Have a good one. Salute to
All
you,
right, brother.
queens and kings. Appreciate you,
Appreciate you again. I'm glad
Slim.
you gave me a chance to let you be heard, let your voice be heard, bro.
All right, bro.
All right, bro. You have a good night.
You too.
All right. If AP is here, if AP would like to jump up and tell her side of the story, I don't mind. If you would like to jump in the live and tell your side of the story, AP, I don't mind.
Sorry, I had to dip out because he kept talking. So it's like, just I'm gonna wait till he's completely done so I can come back up here. And because I didn't hear majority of what he said. So,
All right.
however you
I'm only got
let me know.
I only got a few ground rules. Please try and keep it as respectful as possible. I won't interrupt you. I'll give you the exact same grace that I gave him to tell your side from your perspective. Just keep it respectful, and you can do what you need to do. If y'all in here, can y'all please make sure y'all tapping the screen, sharing the live out. If you want to support, you can. But I just wanted to be respectful. That's the only way I'm gonna interrupt you. Even if I do give you a slight interruption, right? It'll be just to make sure that we add the little extra piece of context onto it so it don't sound so horrible. But that's it. I'm gonna let you rock the same way I let bro rock.
Okay.
You got the flow. You can start from the beginning. You can
I
start
don't
from the
know
beginning because that's where he started. He started from the beginning.
where that could be anywhere. Um,
Like from how y'all interaction started. I give you a little context to how he started. He started where
yeah,
y'all
I
arrangement
was
was supposed. All right, so he started where y'all arrangement was supposed to be. You would be his photographer, and he would be your personal trainer, and y'all would have a bartering system, and then the relationship transformed into something different afterwards.
well. So, um, Holt came to me in my DMs and dropped his number, and that's it. That's all he did was drop his number. I didn't know what that meant, so I left it there for like a week. I was busy at the time, running around doing stuff, so I didn't really hit him back. He actually sent me another message in the DM, was like, yo, you on call? And I'm sitting there like, shit, I forgot. Your number was dropped in there. So, you know, I called him. He didn't answer. I think he had called me. I didn't answer. So we was playing a bit of phone tag. And we finally got to each other and we started talking. And so I can't even remember the conversation initially, but it was somewhere around the aspect of he had an idea in his head about the photo shoot he wanted to do. He wanted to do it in New York. He had a place, a venue, and he wanted me to be the photographer. And I was like, oh, okay. He had seen my work, I guess. And so that's when he asked me to do that. I was like, all right, cool, I'm down. Does it have to be right away? So I'm thinking, my mind is set on business. I'm thinking, all right, so I got a client. I really don't be doing photography that much these days at all. But I know OC and I in a live, in Chef's Live, was sharing our photography work. So that's where the conversation conjured up. And I guess that's when he decided to reach out about that. Course of the conversation, that we would talk or whatever, we would talk a couple times. And I don't know what number of conversation that we had at the point where he finally revealed that, he liked me. And I had to confirm because I wasn't sure because, like I said, my mind was on business, on photography. But once he switched it over to start.
Welcome to the family.
Sorry, that's not me.
Oh,
That's
shit.
not me. That's just the chat. It talk when they can only talk when the subscription come across. Because I gotta make sure that they know I appreciate them. But that's it though.
Okay.
Thank you.
So at some point it transitioned from talking about work to him telling me that he was interested in me, like he liked me. And so I confirmed with him. I'm like, oh, that's what I remember I was washing dishes, just listening to him talk. And I was trying to follow what he was saying. And I was like, are you saying you like me? He was like, yeah, I'm saying I like you. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. Right. So I'm just like, is that why he put his phone number in my chat and didn't say nothing? Like in my messages, he didn't say nothing. He wasn't like, hey, I'm putting my number in here, inquiring about your photography services. He just dropped his number. So it was unclear what exactly he wanted, right? Which is why I didn't call him back immediately. I didn't use his number immediately. So by the time we talked, I was like, okay, this must be why he originally dropped his number in here. Like, yeah, he's probably asking about photography services, but he also had another agenda attached to that where he expressed to me that he liked me. So I'm like, okay. Now I'm on the end of like deciding if I want to entertain it. And I'm like, you know what? Hulk's handsome. He's cool. You know what I'm saying? We've talked, you know what I'm saying, on the app and shit like that or whatever. And I didn't know that he was here in North Carolina, right where I am locally. So I was like, oh, okay. Cool, whatever. Now I'm a full-time mom. You know what I'm saying? It's hard, you know what I'm saying, to not be a full-time mom, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I had one of my best friends came over the house. So I let him come over the house because me and her were going to, drink and chill out or whatever. So she came over, she was bringing me food and we were supposed to kick it or whatever. And he was over there, so it was me, my best friend and him. And we was just sitting around watching TV. And so I was like, I need, my daughter's desk to be put together. So he came over, he did that. He put it together. Now, I'm keeping a distance from him sitting on the couch and I'm helping him put the desk together in my living room. But then he proceeded, after, you know what I'm saying? Like he proceeded to like look at my feet and, you know what I'm saying? Compliment me on my feet and like tell me I had nice toes and, you know what I'm saying? Then he started to like scooch over and like put his arm around me and stuff like that. So I'm just like, oh, okay, like he's flirting and stuff and doing all this, meanwhile, my best friend's around, she eating her food. She's not like, whatever, I introduced them to each other or whatever. They proceed to go smoke outside because they both smoke or whatever. And, we was just chilling, kicking it. He was helping me literally put a desk together and stuff and some other stuff. So, I had a phone call from one of my other homegirls that I went and took in my room. And so I'm on the phone, they out in the living room or whatever, the TV's on. So I'm on the phone, I'm handling, what I'm handling on the phone in the back room. And he texted me from the living room and was like, yo, come here. And I was like, oh, I'll be right there in a second, right? So I get off the phone, I go back up there, whatever. And we just proceed to like, cuddle, I guess. He put his arm around me or whatever. And he put his arm around my waist, like on the couch. And that's just where it was. He was just putting the moves on me. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? I'm entertaining it, right? And it just went from there. Now, as far as like the key and him having a key and all that stuff, like I allowed him to lead in that situation. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm kind of fast forwarding it, but like I allowed him to lead that situation. He initiated that convo of like intentionality. You know what I'm saying? Like he said, this is his last relationship he want to be in. He's looking towards marriage. He's explaining to me that, he's not doing this no more. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't want to keep trying again in different relationships and shit. And I'm like, I hear you on that. Cool. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you're looking for or whatever. Okay, I'll oblige. So that was that conversation with him leading about us, you know, living together, right? Living together. And you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the decision I had made or whatever, you know, at the time. And, you know what I'm saying? At the time, it was like, he never discussed poly. He didn't discuss poly in those conversations. When it came to talking about, you know, past partners and shit like that, I didn't tell him because it wasn't asked. It wasn't asked that I date other TikTok niggas on the app. He didn't ask me that. I didn't ask him. Well, actually, I did ask him because I remember T-Tom saying on her platform that there were 2 girls that were fighting over him or something like that they had befriended each other. They had first gone at it over him and then befriended each other. And I was trying to figure out who the 2 individuals even were because I had no idea, because I knew I had frequented T's panel, but I didn't know who the 2 women were, because I was like, I'll be in here, I don't know. He was like, nah, you know 2 of them. And I was like, nah, I bet you I don't. So he finally told me who the 2 women were. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I didn't know them personally, so whatever. You know what I'm saying? I was just being a little nosy. Like, I didn't know it was 2 of them. And so then he proceeded to tell me about a 3rd girl online that tried to talk to him, who he said was too masculine, right? So I'm just like, okay. So he's telling me about those, volunteering that information of the 3rd girl at least. And I had no idea. And so, you know what I'm saying? He talks about how he gets DMs from women and he don't like to chase. He don't like to be chased. He likes to be the hunter. He likes to do the chasing. And I can respect that because, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to chase you, right? I'm not in the business of keeping no man that don't want to be kept. So, you know what I'm saying? He's telling me all this information and it's cool. All right, whatever. You had your dealings with people online. You know what I'm saying? Cool. Now, moving on from there, you know what I'm saying? Like, our relationship progressed. We talked about working out. I said I needed to work out. He said he trains. Cool. Let's start getting in the gym. Cool. We need to figure out what gym I want to do closest to my house. Cool. Whatever. He's out the way a little bit, so it would make sense him being on the way. Stop here. We then go to the gym, take 1 car to the gym. Okay. That's the way we orchestrate it, because shit ain't cheap out here. All right. So, and he drives enough. So that's what we decided to do. I would go, you know, we would work out in the mornings, and then we would come back. I would proceed to, you know, get my work day on. He would have to go and lift or whatever. And that's how it was. And we decided, like, yo, we just not going to do nothing because we don't want to do shit the same way, whatever. You know what I'm saying? We tried our best as adults. You know what I'm saying? That's what our intentions were, not to mess around and fool around, because we knew that where that could lead, right? So cool. We tried to refrain from it, and then until one day, one of us decided to cross the line. We did. You know what I'm saying? And it was really him initiating that crossing of the line, and I just responded to it. I'm not going to say exactly, you know, how and what happened, but he asked me a question if he could do something, and I said, okay. So, you know what I'm saying? That's just how that happened. Consensual. So from there, I hate to tell this part because it's too intimate, because our intimacy, we talked about actively what we were partaking in and what it would mean. And he was like, don't worry, I got you. This don't change nothing. You know what I'm saying? He's telling me this don't change nothing or whatever. All right, cool. We had that conversation, and I'm only bringing that up because that's what he said, reassuring, because we knew we were crossing a line, crossing a territory that we cannot uncross. So I'm believing him when he's telling me that. We move on from there. And we started to get in our regular routine of going to work out, and then he would come chill. We would come watch TV, whatever. And then he said there was a weekend where he was going to be with his kids. He would have to get his kids. And he's the one that initiated our kids get together and have a sleepover, a slumber party or whatever, or a fort party, build a fort. So I was like, all right, cool. You know, let's do that. We did that for a weekend. So that's when he stayed in my room the whole time. Meanwhile, the kids are running all over the house. He's coming out every once in a while to check on them. But like me, I'm getting them snacks. I'm making sure they fed all day. I'm making sure, you know what I'm saying, they change into their bedclothes, stuff like that. And he's just mainly laying on the bed, like he's not doing anything. So I'm peeping, I'm observing him now, right, in the habitat. Like, he's proceeding to roll up in my room. I don't like smoking in my room. I'm like, you're going to have to take that shit to the garage. He was like, he even argued with me about that. Like, I can't roll up here. The smell's going to be gone. I'm like, no, I don't want you rolling up in my house. Like, no, I don't like the way that shit smells. It's making me nauseous. We arguing about that. So I'm peeping our communication and I'm peeping the resistance that he has, even just to the small requests that I have, right? So this is where I'm starting to observe things might be a little frictional, because me just telling him anything, he's taking it like I got a problem with him. He's taking it like it's watching, you know, TV shows and stuff like that. Like, there were things and little nuances that I'm like, okay, you just have to get used to somebody else. Maybe it's just because you've been single for so long. You ain't really had nobody in the house like that. You have to get, you know, used to it or whatever, right? You have to just learn somebody else. And so I'm trying to give space and opportunity to learn somebody else, to learn him. So, you know, that's that or whatever. And, you know, I just remember having to do a lot of the labor around the kids being, you know, here. I'm cleaning up. I'm cleaning here. This is before he goes to lift, right? He's in my room all day, not doing nothing. And it's funny because I wanted him to put a basketball hoop together so that the kids could play with it outside. And it was like he just let it sit there and he wasn't doing anything. And I'm all over the house, running behind them, cleaning up after them, making sure they're comfortable at all times. And so I'm like, yo, can you please put this together? And he was like, I'll get to it. And he finally gets to it last minute or whatever and finally puts it up. But again, I'm doing all the manual labor. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing all the manual labor behind these kids and he's not picking up like his side of it, right? So then I remember that he was like, yo, can you go in the kitchen and get me some cookies? Now, you know, you could walk your behind over there and get the cookies yourself. But he's wanting me to come serve him cookies and stuff. Like, he's not doing anything. He's been laying around all day. So I'm peeping this shit. And I'm just like, yo, this is crazy. Like in the back of my head, I'm like, all right, don't trip, AP, don't trip. You know what I'm saying? But this is why you don't deal with this shit, because this is where I don't want it to get to where he's being so comfortable. It was like he got comfortable real quick. He did. And I was seeing that. He was getting comfortable instantly, real quick. So for me, it's just like, all right, we working out. Let's keep the schedule. Let's see if this just paves out or whatever. He's lifting so much. He starts to lift so much that we're not really spending more time together to like really keep getting familiar and acclimated with one another. And I brought that up to him and he was like, damn, what you gonna do when I actually get my trucks on the road and I'm gone for weeks on end? And I'm like, but this is a new relationship, so you shouldn't even be thinking about that. We should just be building right now. Like, me telling you like, hey, let's spend more time or whatever, and I see you kind of trailing off early on, that's a red flag. That's a red flag. So that's a red flag for me, right? That was one of the signs to me that I was like, you know, I don't know. I had a problem with that. And so even if he was in pain, if he wasn't saying anything, he should have spoke up. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, we all adults. You communicate with your words, use your big boy words. Okay. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, well, maybe he's not talking because he's in pain. Maybe he's not. No, he doesn't have problem vocalizing anything else. As y'all know, he does not have communication issues with vocalizing and speaking up in that manner. As far as if he's uncomfortable, he feels uncomfortable, he's going to say something. So there's no excuse that, oh, maybe he was going through this or going through that. He was literally just laying and parlaying and comfortable. So I don't want to hear that. So anyways, so whatever, I'm peeping all that. I'm like, okay, I'm just getting used to this person. All right. We had been going to the gym. We did have some arguments that surrounded communication. And there were times, like there was one time where I apologized to him because he was trying to explain something to me that I felt like he didn't have to. And I was like, don't worry about it. It's fine. Like, you don't have to explain anything. And he was like, no, I want to explain. And I was like, oh, okay. To me, I just didn't feel like he owed me an explanation. And it felt like he was trying to force one where it really didn't make sense to me. But I'm like, okay, go ahead and talk. You know what I'm saying? And then at that time, I guess he was just like, you know what? Never mind. And I'm like, okay, cool. I just felt like he didn't have to explain. So that's where I was at with it. It wasn't an attitude that I had. It was just like I felt like he didn't have to do no explaining. What's understood doesn't need to explain. It was one of those types of situations for me. That was one of those conversations. But to him, he got in his feelings about that because he felt like I was not allowing him to talk. Okay, cool. I'll eat that. Apologized to him about that. Took accountability, right? Because he says I don't take accountability. All right. So then the day that he's saying that he referenced that I was talking to my family on the phone, I had a family meeting call that I had to take. It was going to be an intense call already because some shit had popped off in my family when I went home last Christmas, okay? So we were talking about that. So I'm outside. I said I had to take this call, but I know we had to be on our way to the gym as well. So I took the call before, we went to the gym. He was around, but like he was moving around back and forth. So he wasn't just sitting intently in front of me listening to the call. I took the call out on my balcony. So he was in and out, smoking outside, and then would go inside, whatever. The conversation was intense when I was on the phone. But it wasn't enough information for him to understand what was going on because he doesn't know the dynamics of my family. He never asked questions after I got off the phone. All he was concerned about was, let's get to the gym. He didn't really care to ask me about what that call was about, what's going on in my family, what's going on with the business, what issues am I running into, nothing. He wasn't concerned about that. He was more concerned about, let's just go to the gym. Let's go to the gym. Let's go to the gym. All right, cool. Whatever. Right. So that part, I feel like you're not understanding me, but you thinking that something's affecting another thing, but you're not really taking time to understand the dynamics of what's going on. You're just on go. And that's how Hulk is. He'll be on go. He doesn't stop to really he says he's paying attention, but he'll say he's paying attention, but he doesn't act in the moment like he's paying attention. So if you're paying attention, you don't stop to be like, hey, I sense something's going on. Do you want to talk about it? He's not one of those. It's more so of, all right, we got to knock out these workouts. You ready? Did you do your workout at home? Right? It's just, it's bleeding into personal stuff. Right? The workout, he doesn't wait till we get to the gym. It's like as soon as he gets to the house, that's when he wants to that's what we're going to do. This one. Okay, cool. But sometimes you need to separate sometimes and check in with your partner and just be like, hey, I want to check in and make sure you cool. I understand that phone call didn't look like it was too comfortable for you. So what's going on? Do you want to talk about it? Are you ready to talk about it? There was no check-in or anything like that from Hulk. It was just like he was on go. He was on go. And so I felt like I needed to keep up. And so I'm quickly trying to snap out of what I'm doing with that, you know what I'm saying, with the business and my family to now get in the mindset of, okay, let's work out, right? Because I am trying to commit to the workout and making sure I do what I need to do on the workout, right? So that was one of the times where I felt like he kind of neglected me emotionally. And I feel like, he could have checked in with your girl, but he didn't. And he was concerned more about what he wanted to be concerned about. All right, cool. So I go to the gym, we go to the gym, whatever. We're going to the gym on a regular basis. But our communication sometimes, there was one time we were at the gym, I had to take a work call because it was something that was dealing with work. Something that frustrated me with work because I've been trying to work on this for months. And so after I got off of that call, I go back to the workout. I'm doing the workout. I'm doing the work, right? But he's like, I'm sensing that you're not here. Your attitude or your vibe, your energy is just off. Even if my energy is off, I am human. Allow me to be human. And I feel like Hulk was not allowing me the grace to deal with what I needed to deal with as a single mom, having to juggle so many balls in the air. And that's where I feel like the disconnect was with both of us. And that's what seeped into our communication with one another. Because on the one hand, he's so on go, he's not seeing me. He's not seeing that I'm dealing with work. I have, a very demanding career. Then I'm also trying to deal with being a single mom and making sure my kid is straight 24/7. He don't have his kids 24/7. So on that regard, me and him we don't share the same struggles with that, right? I have my kid at all times, right? He don't have his kid at all times. It's different. Part-time is different from full-time. Part-time is part-time. Full-time is full-time. You don't get a break when you're on full-time. I'm on full-time mommy mode. In addition to being full-time career mode. In addition to now trying to make sure that I get my workout in and adding that to my schedule, which is new for me, right? And making sure that I'm on the mark with working out every day and doing what I got to do as far as my own workout, right? That's all on me. But I feel like he was not really being understanding and giving me that grace to shift mentally through each of those things that I have to go through. And so for him, it made it seem like, well, I'm just, out here like having an attitude, or I'm going through, or I'm just being stressful to him. Like, you don't have all those demands on you like I have the demands on me. Okay? No, it's not an attack on his parenting. That's what it is. That's what it is, right? It's not attack on his parenting. It's really not. So for me, I feel like, he don't have his kids every day. He does lift every day, right? He don't have his kids. I have my kid every day. So it's a little different. I can't just be in his face 24/7. I can't drop things when he wants me to just drop them. I have a little person that comes first. He just came up here and told y'all that his kids come first. So what makes you think a full-time mom is not putting her kids first? That's what I got to deal with. It's different. You know what I'm saying? The mother.
All right, excuse me real quick, AP. For y'all that don't know, I'm off screen puffing real quick. And that's the only reason why I'm off screen. It's not that I don't fuck with what AP said.
They said you left.
Nah, I ain't leave. I'm still here. I'm listening to everything that you said. I can run that shit back if you want me to.
No, you're fine.
I'm keeping up with the story.
I'm
keeping up with the story. I'm just off screen puffing. I'm off screen puffing. You hear me? And like, look, I'm off screen puffing. That's it. Other than that, you know what I'm saying? Keep going, go off. You know what I'm saying? I'm not interrupting you the same way I gave you the time. I gave Hook the time. I'm giving you the exact same time.
So anyway, I don't, so it's different. It's not an attack on his parenting. It's more so stating the difference between our lives. His life does not consist of having kids 24/7. Mine does. Okay. And so I'm not saying that he doesn't work hard. I'm not saying that he don't have any ambition. I'm just saying when kids are in the picture, it's a totally different thing to try to be a full-time parent and even date and also add working out on top of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be every woman, you know what I'm saying? And I can't be every woman to everybody. You know what I'm saying? There were days where I'd have to deal with her, my kid, and I'd have to deal with Hulk and whatever he had going on. So there were times where he would stress me out and she would stress me out. You know what I'm saying? I got both of them stressing me out, trying to be everything, you know what I'm saying, to both parties. It's not easy. And he wasn't understanding of that. Hulk's just understanding, the compartmentalizing of, well, we got to work out. We got to do this. Well, sometimes my kid doesn't really comply with the fuck I want to do. Just be honest. Sometimes she's not really with my shits and with my set schedule. Okay. So sometimes she not with it. Sometimes she be like, yo, I don't want you to go to the gym. I got this going on. I don't feel well. You got to, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm doing the best that I can with what I got. And so, yeah, I'm just like, it wasn't easy for me to try to deal with somebody who is not understanding of that. And I feel like also in addition to that, I'm a homeowner. I got mad stuff going on around this house that I have to address. So I got multiple balls juggling in the air. I'm managing my own fucking property. I am managing my own child. I am trying to get a workout in so I can look like something at the end of all of this. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to follow a man who tells me he's trying to lead, but he's not understanding. He's not being compassionate. He's emotionally neglecting me. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not all the way there. He says he's there. He says he's receptive. He says he pays attention to everything, but he doesn't act on paying attention to everything. Okay? So it's a difference between when you are mentally wanting to be there for your partner and check in and be like, hey, is everything okay? Do you want to talk about it? And it's a difference between, all right, we got to go. And y'all saw that, or y'all heard that if y'all had been in my live. That's what happened. So let's fast forward to, at some point, right, we had argued back and forth so much that, we had a big blow up. I can't really even remember how it started or whatever, but I remember him coming over to have a talk with me late at night. My kid was already in the bed. We went to the back deck to talk, and he was talking, and the things he was saying to me, honestly, was just not making sense, because I felt like there was just a lot of excuses for him to simply not be emotionally available. He says, yes, he's physically available. Mentally, he's there, but emotionally, as far as that connection and creating a safe space to be able to be vulnerable and actually talk things through, that's the part that was the struggle. That's the part that was the disconnect. We weren't connecting in that way. And so for me, that conversation went nowhere because both of us was not willing to be vulnerable with each other for that conversation to work and for it to be, okay. And at that time, I think for me, I was like, yeah, I'm not feeling this conversation. Maybe we need to try again another time. I don't really know. Right? I didn't care. I was just done and over having the conversation. So he proceeds to give me my key back or whatever. And I said, thank you, sir. Literally just said, thank you, sir. Took it back, put it back wherever. And he left out. After he leaves, he calls me on the phone to talk to me some more, to try again with the conversation, to see if we can connect somehow again. And it still was like running into a brick wall. We just were not agreeing. And so at that point, when we're talking on the phone after he had left, because he called me, he proceeds to tell me that I noticed that this, and this with your family and da-da-da-da-da, and you got to da-da-da-da-da. And I'm trying to take this feedback, right? And so I proceed to cry on the phone and be vulnerable. I was like, I'm going to drop my guard down and finally just be like, listen, I got a lot of balls juggling in the air. And you know what he did? He heard me cry on the phone. And then he proceeded to say, all right, well, I'll hit you up tomorrow, and just got off the phone with me. He didn't say to be like, you know what? Like, again, the lack of emotional availability. Right? Abandoning me at a vulnerable time where this is the first time I'm actually even breaking down in front of him on the phone. And so he just left. He was just like, all right, well, I'll call you tomorrow. And so do you think he called me the next day? Nope. He didn't call me the next day. And so at that point, by the time I heard from him the day after that, I let him know. I said, listen, I don't do the whole, if you're going to do something, do it. But if you're not going to do it, don't say that you're going to do it. Just do what you say you're going to do. That's as small as if it's a call, or if you said you're going to come over and spend some time or whatever. Do what you say you're going to do. That was the other thing I was observing as well. He would say a lot of things, but he wasn't following through with what he said he was going to do. It was always some kind of, well, you know what I'm saying? I decided to lift a little longer. I decided to do this. I got to go and make this run over here. I got to make this run over there. That's all it became, was just excuses. So it was like, all right, well, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what to do from here with somebody who's just unavailable. You know what I'm saying? If you say you got a whole lot going on, like sir, you have too much going on to be in a relationship. Because at this point, it's like if you market yourself as being ready to be in a relationship and you got it structured down, you've been in relationships before, you're experienced, you know what you're doing, I'm thinking that you're actually emotionally available for one and you have time for one as well. If you don't have that time to put into that other person, then we're just wasting time, period. I'm literally just, all I'm doing is giving you access to me and there's nothing else. Okay? So,
all right, so AP,
yeah.
I want to stay on one olive branch to you, right? Like, because at the end, I don't know if he gonna come back up. I'll allow y'all to be able to talk to each other one on one, or at least I'll allow y'all to be able to talk to each other one on one. And then what I mean by one on one, like I'll put the showtime on to where y'all can't interrupt each other if he agrees to it. If he does decide to come back up, but like as in being a truth seeker and a mediator at the exact same time, for some of the things that you can provide receipts for, I send you a number that you can like send the receipts to, feel me? For some of the things that you're saying to be able to substantiate whatever claims you are substantiate. Now, I understand like the rolling up in the highs, you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? You can't send me them receipts. But like some of the shit that you've been saying
for that one, like I have the live.
Right. No, all right. Even alive, like I give you the opportunity to be able to send it to me. That way, like when y'all start going back and forth, we could do the lot of tick and the lot of tick
Oh no, that's
is
not, like, honestly, Slim, I'm not even here for all that. Like he
okay.
knows, he knows what it is. I know what it is. It's not. I don't even need to do. I don't even need to do all that. Like this ain't accountability court. I mean, even in accountability court though, that's not even. They didn't even ask for that. But I don't even need
Right.
to.
They didn't ask for it. They didn't ask for it. But and I'm no judge at accountability court. But like when I say like I want to mediate something or I want to dead something.
Yeah.
I like want to get down to the nitty gritty and as far as close to the truth as we possibly can be. And we can let the interpretations between the truth and human emotion be what it is. But as much of the truth that we can gather, because at this point in time, what has happened is a smear campaign, and the smear campaigns on both ends can look harsh, but if I have the opportunity to provide like clarity with something that's factual, I want to give you the opportunity and the benefit of the doubt to be able to say like, hey, look, the things that I can prove, I can approve, and the things that I can't, I can't.
No, I don't think that's necessary. Listen, this all happened in a short amount of time. There is no, you know what I'm saying, like proof that's really even needed, because the main proof would be that he interrupted my live. That's where the disrespect and the final argument happened between he and I. That was already proven. That receipt has already been given in a couple of lives.
So AP, even if I was just being honest, like just in the start of your story, right, of how things took place, I already got receipts to prove that you have fabricated the reaction and response. I'm giving you of how long it took you to respond and how it all started.
Okay.
I'm giving you the opportunity. Huh?
What are you talking about? Fabricated? What did I fabricate? So how long did it take?
The amount of time that 2 days.
Okay.
And in those 2 days, when you went to a phone tag or whatever, let me see. Here we go. It was January 6th when a number got shot to you. On January 6th, you also responded back and said, "Okay, I got it." All right. So now, if you look at TikTok threads, y'all ain't have much of a conversation. But if you look at text message threads, January 8th, you responded. January 9th, y'all talked. January 9th, you responded back.
This is all January in TikTok 10th. Message?
Nah, this real messages. hug my brother offline. Feel me? That's why that's why I gave you. I'm
Listen,
extending you the exact same.
you don't gotta say all that. It's not a big deal to me. It
No, I'm
really is
just saying
not.
I'm extending you the exact same grace that I gave him. Feel me?
I don't really
So
care.
you can actually,
Okay.
like be able to
But it don't
substantiate the shit
matter.
that
I
you
didn't
saying.
respond. It don't matter. I didn't respond to him right away. That's what I'm saying. I'm recalling this off of memory. If he got receipts, that's great. That's wonderful. Go Hulk.
But can I give you real deal? Like the reason why I even asked this shit, right? The
Okay.
real deal is
The smear campaign is what you're talking about.
if you can put 10 on 2,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna make you look
But it's not
way
10 on
worse.
2. Okay, it's not 10 on 2 though. I'm recalling this as much as I can off the top of the dome.
Okay, go ahead, man.
So if you can,
I'm just giving you the opportunity the same way
I
that
get it.
he's
I
shooting
hear
this
you.
shit. To make sure that I'm not biased. I'm
Hmm.
giving you the exact same opportunity to provide whatever receipts you want to provide. That way, we don't have
Okay, if
to.
I
It
feel like
don't
a
look like
receipt
you
needs to be provided, if
extravagancy.
I feel like a receipt needs to be provided, that's fine.
All
That's
right,
fine.
let's go.
But I mean, I don't like something as simple as when I responded to him, like it wasn't no right away. It wasn't. I don't even know what the time frame. It felt like a fucking week. It really did because I know I was running around doing shit, and I knew I hadn't responded back to him yet. That's it. So I don't know. I would have to look in my messages to even see, but I know it wasn't right away. That's what I can recall at the time, was not responding to him right away. That's it. Um, I am.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying, Simone. I'm just guessing the time about the time frame. So that's it. Anyways, my point was I didn't respond right away to him. I didn't. But that's not the bulk or point of the damn story anyways. It's really not. So anyways, so yeah, that happened or whatever. So that what I even forgot where I left off, Slim. Where did I leave off?
You were closer to like it was after the rolling up. Hold on, because I'm running. I'm doing my mental Rolodex. It was after the rolling up. It was after the sleepover.
Okay. We got the sleepover.
If somebody in the comments can
So
help me out, help me to forget.
so the conversation with the key being returned, whatever, I said that's cool. He called
Right.
me after. We still
Go
couldn't.
ahead. Just take out from there. Take out from the
Yeah,
conversation with the key got returned.
we still couldn't be on the same page or whatever. Oh, when I was crying on the phone, decided to be vulnerable with him. He was just ice cold, and he was like, "All right, well, I'll call you tomorrow," and then that was it. And never called me the next day. I called him actually that next day and was like, "Hey, I'm trying to spend time with you." He was like, "Well, I'm spending time with my family today," and I was like, "Oh, okay." So again, passing up another opportunity because he said he was spending time with his family. But my thing is like, I just seen you the night before. So my thing is like, if we're still in a relationship, because as far as I know, you know what I'm saying? Like we took a step back, but it wasn't over right at that time. So at that time, it's just like, okay, you spending time with your family. All right. Cool. So at this point, I'm in limbo. And see, that's the part where it's like, he's saying that, oh, I cut her off. And it was like, well, at that point, if you're not paying attention to me, if you're not really in this or whatever, I don't know what to tell you. So yeah, I ducked off. You can interpret that how you want to. I ducked off between that time. He wasn't really coming around like that. He would keep in touch about like the workouts, like, oh, we'll just work out the next day. Oh, we'll just work out the next day. Oh, we'll just work out the next day. He kept pushing that back. So that was leaving me open opportunity. That was leaving me open opportunity to be like, all right, cool. I'ma kind of do me, right? And so I kind of was doing me in that time frame. He didn't know about it, but it is what it is. He didn't want to communicate. He wanted to act like all of a sudden he's busy. He got all these plans now with his family and shit like that. All right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Not a problem. So, fast forward or whatever. I mean, we continue to, to work out or whatever and start recording our workouts on live and stuff like that. But fast forward to the point of when he actually I guess, was taking a step back. I guess after the key, that was supposed to mean that we were just not, like together or whatever in an intimate way. All right, cool. So when, as days was going on, I was just like, you know what? I miss you. You know what I'm saying? Let me take the feedback he's been giving me. Maybe, it's me or whatever, right? So, you know what I'm saying? Like, one of the workout sessions when he got back, I was like, what can we do? It's still so new. You're just thinking like, well, let's try again. Even though the key was given back, it's fine, but let's just try again. Like, that was my notion on it. And he was like, well, if we try again, you know what I'm saying, and we don't work out together, or we find that we're not a good fit, I'm like, I'm fine with that. Okay, cool. So, you know what I'm saying? That's when before I left out of the car, he gave me a kiss. And I was like, all right, cool, whatever. We kept it at that. He would keep in contact with me. We would go to the gym. You know what I'm saying? We would be flirty. He would still smack me on my ass, do all this stuff or whatever. And so, you know what I'm saying? Proceed to, be flirty, kiss me, be affectionate sometimes or whatever. So I'm thinking, all right, we taking it slower, right? At some point, like y'all talking about, okay, y'all move fast. Well, we realized that a portion of the way through, and we did fall back. We did take a step back. We did slow it down as much as we could. We took it back. So then, after a while or whatever, I went, this was one of the workouts. So one of the workouts we were supposed to do, and this was after we had, let me preface this. Before the argument where he interrupted my live, we had a good weekend, and we were supposed to work out Friday. We were supposed to go to the basketball court and stuff or whatever. And so, you know what I'm saying? Proceed to, be flirty, kiss me, be affectionate sometimes or whatever. So I'm thinking, all right, we taking it slower, right? At some point, like y'all talking about, okay, y'all move fast. Well, we realized that a portion of the way through, and we did fall back. We did take a step back. We did slow it down as much as we could. We took it back. So then, after a while or whatever, I went, this was one of the workouts. So one of the workouts we were supposed to do, and this was after we had, let me preface this. Before the argument where he interrupted my live, we had a good weekend, and we were supposed to work out Friday. We were supposed to go to the basketball court and play ball on Saturday. We were supposed to, play ball. We was going to work out, there. We was going to shoot some hoops, maybe play a pickup game, you know what I'm saying, do some exercises. Well, he had got sick. That day. And so he had to go out of town. Cool. All right. So I'm keeping in touch with him, making sure he's good. I'm like, you good? You good? Like, what's going on? He's checking in, telling me what's going on with him or whatever. And I'm like, all right, I'm here, whatever. Right. So much so that I'm even talking to his sister that he's staying with, where he had to go out of town, you know what I'm saying, to see a doctor and stuff. So his sister, he was like, hey, his sister even reached out, you know what I'm saying, and was like, hey, I'm just reaching out. Holt, he did good through his whatever operation or whatever. He's, kind of on meds right now, so he's a little loopy. But he wanted me to check in with you. He told me to hit you up and make sure that you knew that he was okay. And he's letting you know that once he, comes to, he's going to get back on the road and head over to you or whatever. So I'm like, okay, thanks for letting me know. And then he was like, yeah, he was talking about something like, you know what I'm saying, I'm trying to hit some cheeks or whatever in there in the message. And I was like embarrassed. I was like, I can't believe he said that. She was like, yeah, so I figured he was talking about you, AP. And I was like, I guess he was. And so she was like, no, it's fine. She was like, but he's trying to, move around, and I'm trying to tell him to sit his ass down. And I was like, yeah, tell him to sit down, but I'm here if y'all need anything. I was like, do y'all need anything? She was like, no, he's home here. He's fine or whatever. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm making sure he's good. And then, he didn't come back that night. He came back the next day. We still haven't worked out or anything. So this is like days on end that we have not worked out in the gym. So I know we definitely gonna have to hit it hard when we resume back. So the next day is when he proceeds to be on his way back. He's, keeping in touch. He's making sure he calls me, which I really appreciated. He was calling me a little more and making sure like, hey babe, I'm on my way back home. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I had to do X, Y, and Z before I left town or whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. At least he's communicating. I can respect that. Once he comes back, you know, it's like nighttime the next day and he's not all the way back. He's on his way. And so he calls me and I'm just waiting up for him at this point. It's getting later and later. My kid is already asleep. He was like, I'm on my way. I'm on my way. He finally calls me again and he was like, there's road work ahead or whatever. I'm not going to be able to make it there. So I'm like, okay, I waited up all day, all night for this. I was like, okay, so you're just not going to be able to make it because some construction is going. I was like, why don't you just take a detour? He was like, it's going to take much longer. It'll take me like 2 extra hours to get to you then. So at that point, I'm like, if you really wanted to get to somebody, you would. So I didn't even fight him on it. I was like, okay. He was like, I mean, I can FaceTime you right now and show you. And I'm like, why are you so pressed to show me when I already said that I believed you? You don't have to show me. I just said I believed you. I'll see you tomorrow. He was like, I mean, you just sound disappointed. I mean, I think you know I'm kind of disappointed, but I'm not making a big deal out of it. So I don't know why you keep making a big deal out of it if I'm not making a big deal out of it. You said there was road work ahead. You can't get around it. You can't make it to me. I'm not stressing you. I'll see you tomorrow. And that was it. So we got off the phone and he came over the next day. I think we worked out the next day. I think we had a few more days that we had some good workout sessions, right? Oh no, it was Monday. Cause Monday after that weekend, right? Monday was the day we got into it, or it was Monday we got into it. We were supposed to work out in the morning. We switched it to nighttime. He said, he called me in the afternoon. He was like, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to work out at 8:00. And then after that, I'm going to spend some time with you, because that was the running thing. We hadn't spent time together and I'd been waiting on us to spend time together. So waiting on him to, I'm not stressing him. We had a real communicative weekend. Even though he was sick, he still communicated with me. I was patient with him. I didn't sweat him. I didn't have no attitude with him. I was supportive of what he was going through. I even talked to his sister. His sister and I communicated. It was good. He still couldn't come by on Sunday because he said there was road work. I was still understanding with that. The next night, when he called me and said 8:00 is when we're going to do our workout, I said, bet. That was around 4 or 5 o'clock that day. At that point, we had already set what we were going to do, and that's fine. So I decided to go on live because I needed to run a live about something I was talking about at some point. So I set my live to private because I didn't want my live taken down. And I'm on live. I'm on live, and eventually, I don't know how much long I was in the live before he called, but he kept calling me back to back to back. And I kept sending him the voicemail, calling me again, sending him the voicemail, calling me again, sending him the voicemail. And at this point, I'm like, yo, if I'm sending you the voicemail, obviously right now you're not getting the hint that I cannot answer the phone. And so then he proceeds to text me. Now, I have my iWatch on me because if I need to get to a message, at least I can look at my watch. So I see him say, so you just gonna send me the voicemail? And I'm just sitting here like, oh shit, here we go. We went through a whole weekend of not arguing with one another. I'm being so docile and understanding to him. And now here we are about to get into another argument, right? So he's like, you sending me the voicemail and I'm on my way over there. And I said, hey, I see your message. I was like, okay, but I can't talk right now. I'm in the middle of something. I'm saying this on my live. I'm talking into my watch during my live. So at that point, I'm continuing my live or whatever, and he pulls up. So I step away from my live to go downstairs, open the garage, and he's outside. When I see him outside, he's on the phone. So I'm like, okay, he's doing something else anyways. Cool. Maybe he's not upset. Maybe he's just here early because it was 7 o'clock. It wasn't even 8 o'clock. So I'm like, maybe he's just here early just to like kick it. He don't got nothing to do. He got some free time. Cool. He's on the phone. I let him be on the phone. I'm upstairs. I go back to my live. I proceed to talk. That's when he proceeds to go upstairs and then interrupt my live. And I'm looking at him. You see me in the live and I'm talking. And then I look over because he's entering the room. And I'm like, hey, I was like, but you said 8 o'clock. And he was like, I've been calling you though. Let's go to the gym. Like I came here early so we could go to the gym. And I'm still confused as to why he's here early, because I didn't know that he was trying to go to the gym early. And so I'm like, okay. He was like, you ain't doing nothing. You over here like yapping. You ain't doing nothing. And I'm sitting here like, okay, I'm not doing anything. So you see my face. I look embarrassed in the live for one, because that's how I feel. But I'm still trying to save face and act like I'm not embarrassed by him. Because at that point I was like, everybody can hear you, right? And he was like, he was like, I don't care about them people. And I'm just like, obviously you don't. I'm on live right now. He was like, man, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And so everybody in my live is now distracted. Now my whole live is not even paying attention to what I'm talking about no more.
One second. So for context, you never told him, like, hold you accountable when you doing too much on live or none of that shit?
No, I never had that conversation with him. I don't know what he's talking about with that conversation. I don't recall it. You gotta have to
never told him. No, I'm asking.
I don't recall it, Slim.
You never told him you need a man that could reel you back in because you be doing too much.
I don't recall that. If we're talking not in the context of a live, not in the context of TikTok. So if we talked about that, we were talking about shit in general, but we weren't talking about nothing specific. I don't recall though. You're gonna have to, if you have the receipt, let me see.
No. It's not even. This is not even about receipt. It's just about what he said when he was up here earlier.
No, I don't recall having that conversation with him.
No, I'm saying any shape, form, or capacity. You never told him you need a nigga that's gonna be able to reel you back in when you doing too much.
No, I don't recall saying anything like that. Now, if it was under the like context of like I need a man to lead, I need a man to, you know what I'm saying? Like he can call me out on my shit. Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course you can call me out on my shit. But as far as like reel me back in, like I don't know, what would that would have to be something specific that I'm referring to, and I can't recall what I would be talking about to say those words, reel me back in. If I'm doing too much, I don't recall saying those words to him at all, so I don't know what he's talking about. No,
I got you. I'm just asking questions according to my observations from the other conversation, and that's that. If you saying nah, it's good. Nah.
No, I don't know if, and I don't know if he's talking about in terms of like working out and making sure that I'm, you know what I'm saying, I'm actually working out. Yeah, I could see maybe working out, but I don't like in terms of like reeling me back in, like when it comes to like stuff that I want to do outside of working out and in my personal life. No, I would never tell him like, I need you to just reel me back in. Like he's not my daddy. He's not my dad. So if I want to be on live and talk my shit, then I should be at liberty to do so. I'm a grown ass woman. That's not the reeling in that I'm talking about. I'm not telling him to reel me back in when you feel like I'm doing too much on the live and shit like that. No, I'm not saying that shit. So, okay. I really don't recall that, Slim. I don't know what he's talking about. And he could be misinterpreting because again, we've already stated, right? He and I have already stated that our communication was not the best. So interpretation, you already know, probably wasn't the best either. Anyways, but yeah, so anyways, yeah, he proceeded to come in, he embarrassed me on my live. I was embarrassed. I tried to save face. At that point, everybody was distracted and they was like, oh girl, go with your man. You better get off live. Go spend time with your man, girl. Go spend time with your man. Like it was just nothing but comments back and forth. Like go spend time with your man. So at this point, I can't even get back to what I'm talking about because now they didn't heard his voice. His voice is very distinctive. Everybody know it is Hulk. So he's coming on that, not trainer type stuff. Everybody got the impression that this is clearly the nigga that you talking to. Let's put it like that. I'm trying to put it in context so y'all get the feel of what happened. It's pretty much like he came in and interrupted the live like, I'm your man, get your ass off live, let's go. And so therefore everybody else took it like that and was saying that up and down in my comments. So at that point I was pissed. I was really upset. Because while Hulk can sit up here and say, bro, have you ever seen me do X, Y, and Z? While he can sit up here and ask everybody, y'all have never seen me do X, Y, and Z. But then he's on live doing X, Y, and Z. So to me, I can understand we're creature of habits, but when you're actually interrupting my live and embarrassing me, you're now doing X, Y, and Z that you say and claim nobody else has ever seen you do on the app. So you're already doing something that's abnormal. And to me, it felt abnormal. And you can tell on my face that it was an abnormal interaction. Because to me, I felt disrespected. And so at that point, I was upset, but I'm not trying to snap off on him on the live in front of everybody the way he just embarrassed me. Now, typically I would if he wasn't my man, but at that point, I'm like trying to still show him respect. I'm being docile. You see my whole energy and I'm not on no rah-rah shit, even though my content that I was talking about was on some rah-rah shit. But you notice that when he came in the room, all of that shit shut down and I was back to docile and talking to him softly. So the fact that he says that I'm so argumentative, I'm so combative, I'm so this, that, and the third all the time, where you don't acknowledge the point in time where somebody literally stopped what they were doing because you came in the room and addressed you as the man that you wanted to be addressed as, even though you disrespected the woman that you were supposed to be respecting. You embarrassed the woman while she gave you different energy, gave you submissive energy, gave you feminine energy. And you completely shat on that in that moment in a live that had over 100 people in there listening to you.
Hold on. I got to ask you a question. First of all, shat is a hell of a word to use right now.
I haven't used that in a while, but you know what that means, right?
Like past tense of shit.
Yeah.
I can't be serious. That shit just did. That shit just.
No, I feel like that's what he did on it though.
Right. But all right. So I want to know, is the moment in which he walked in the house, was the key already given back to you? Did you have to open the door up for him?
Yeah, it been given back. Yeah, absolutely.
So that means that in order for him to get into the house, you had to go and open the door for him.
That's what I said though. I said I left my live.
No, I just need to make sure that all context is there and everybody, all questions are asked.
Yes. When I said I left my live, I went downstairs because he had pulled up and I went to go open the garage door for him.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. And so then I went back upstairs and I continued my live. I saw that he was here. It was 7:00. And so that's when, you know what I'm saying? I noticed he was there early. I was confused, but I got people waiting on a live for me. I got to get back upstairs so I can finish what I got to finish. Cause I don't know what he wants at that point. I don't know why he's there that early, but he can chill when I get done. I'm expecting that as an adult. You know that.
I got
you know what I'm saying?
Hey, K-Dub, hold on. One second. K-Dub, you know I love you, sis. I ain't gonna never disrespect you, but I only allow one person in the box at a time when I'm like allowing a person to be able to express. I gave Hook the ample time to be able to get his shit off his chest. I'm giving AP the exact same time. I ask, interject in a little bit, but I'm trying to do it in the best way where they won't. Neither person is triggered. So trust me, after all of this shit after she gets her final word off, anybody that wants to come up can come up. If they don't agree to the back and forth, but it will be on Showtime. So once he presents his side, you can say what you need to say, and once you present your side, you can say what you need to say without being without being interrupted and without the disrespect.
Yeah. So
yeah. We gonna it's gonna be a back and forth. So if it's gonna be a back and forth.
You talking to me?
But y'all gonna be no, I'm telling you, it's gonna be a
Oh.
back and forth. But we gonna do it Showtime wise, not like where y'all get to just like unmute mute. I'm not letting y'all argue.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna let y'all rebut each other. So yeah, share the live out. Hey, if you see that goal up there, just go ahead and tap on that Cash App goal for me if you can. If you can't, I understand. Don't explain yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody ain't got it.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
So there's a lot of questions in there, like, so the live came first. I would have spent time with my man. For one, like I just said, we had already had a call that gym time was at 8:00. So I'm not expecting him to be on his way any earlier. I'm expecting that he's going to get there closer to 8:00. So as soon as he rolls up, no, I'm not getting off of live because I'm already in the middle of something. And so for me, that was my time and my space to do my thing before I committed to going to the gym at 8:00. I'm not getting off any earlier just because he showed up and he decided to switch the plan last minute. I was already in the middle of something, which is why I could not answer his call and why I wasn't going to answer his call. So I don't know who's confused about that out there, but I'm not going to sit there and bow down and be like, oh, let me cook you a 4-course meal just because you came in and walked through the door. No, this is my time. And this is how I'm choosing to utilize my time. You can wait until I'm done. I think that's what's respectful from one partner to another partner. So no, I'm not dropping everything as soon as he comes in the house. Again, let me remind you, the garage that I said I opened is my garage. The house he came to is my house. I pay the mortgage here. I'm doing my thing until it's closer to 8:00, which I confirmed with him I would be ready to go to the gym at 8:00. So it was not